Okay, guys. Fascism explained. Fucking. This is Mr. Beat. I don't know if this guy's a Nazi or not, but that's what I'm here to find out, basically. I found this my fucking recommended, and I don't know why, but.
Yo, I'm Mr. Beats. In 2010, when I was a young lad, I began teaching world history at Blue Valley High School. Fun fact, that was the same high school that Michael Stevens from Vsauce went to. Anyway,
Vsauce
when I
Michael here.
first started teaching about fascism to these poor kids, I had a hard time explaining it. When I looked online
These poor kids, like,
for definitions,
probably,
it was hard
honestly.
to find a definition that was historically accurate. And when I did find one, it was just ridiculously complex. And since then, I've noticed that there are a lot of people who are
All ideologies have complexities.
confidently talking about fascism, but I don't think they actually know what it means.
The true fascists who are operating today in this country are of a different variety than the old fascists of Mussolini's day. They're the people who want to shut down debate on college campuses like Berkeley, what they're doing to Coulter, what they've done to Milo, others.
Fascism.
Fox News, that's literally like, they think fascists are college kids. They think I am a fascist, or they want you to think so, because they want to hide the fact that they have their own sort of fascistic agenda. If I can speak, goddammit.
Regardless of nation or
This guy made a good video on Ben Shapiro, I remember.
time or leader, is a reaction against the left. It's a frustration with liberalism. It's a rejection of socialism and communism and Marxism and feminism and globalism and perceived weakness. It's a reactionary movement that's a bit outside the realm of conservatism, that forms an uneasy alliance with conservatives and centrist elites.
Fascism is a form of socialism, indeed, its most workable form. While the socialism of Marx mobilizes people on the basis of class, fascism mobilizes people by appealing to their national identity as well as their class. Fascists are socialists with a national identity.
To begin, let's take a look at what fascism is.
Okay. Wait, was this PragerU? I wasn't paying attention. I need to
Reactionary
redo this.
movement that's a bit outside the realm of conservatism, that forms an uneasy alliance with conservatives
up.
and centrist elites.
Fascism is a form of socialism, indeed,
Yeah, it is
its
pretty
most
good.
workable form. While the socialism of Marx mobilizes people on the basis of class, fascism mobilizes people by appealing to their national identity as well as their class.
Wait. Hold on. What the fuck?
Socialism, indeed, its most workable form.
Look at
While
this
the
graphic.
Socialism of Marx mobilizes people on the
Mobilizes people on the basis of class. If this is supposed to be Marxism, and fucking that is supposed to be fascism, why is it both hierarchical? That makes that makes zero sense. Marxism is like the abolition of the money hierarchy. Like that's the ANCOM like thing like that.
class. Fascism mobilizes people by appealing to their national identity as well as their class. Fascists are socialists
As well
with a
as their
national
class. PragerU wants you to think that fascists are socialists because they're fascists and capitalists. By the way,
identity.
it's
To
just
begin,
true.
Let's take a look at what fascism is. Contemporary fascists share three core beliefs. 1. People of European heritage are or ought to
Okay, so this guy thinks ContraPoints is wrong about her definition of fascism. Therefore, he is a Nazi.
constitute a biological, cultural, and political unity known as the white race, sometimes dog-whistled as Western culture. 2. Jews are masterminding the destruction of the white race through multiculturalism and non-white immigration, a plot that fascists call white genocide or ethnic replacement. 3. The only way to save the white race is to establish a white homeland, or ethno-state, from which non-whites and degenerates must be purged.
I agree with her that that is exactly what the people that she was talking about and calling fascists and that believe in. Like, that is their ideology. She's talking about, like, American white nationalists. And I guess white nationalists in other countries as well. Like, ContraPoints is right. I want to know what this guy thinks
is a word so
fascism
often
means.
misused or mischaracterized. So let's look at what fascism actually means.
Because when you defend an ideology that has literally, like, there's been, like, you know, like, the most famous genocide in the world was committed by Nazis who are fascists. You kind of have to back that up. Like,
I meant to make this video a while ago, but I held back after my friend Tristan from Step Back History beat me to it. That's right. He beat Mr. Beat.
I'm gonna
Anyway,
beat you, dude, in a video game.
he released the video back in October 2017. Tristan does a great job, as he always does, but he mostly dives into the early history of fascist Italy and Nazi Germany, and frankly, he was still a bit too vague with his definition of fascism. In the comments of his video, I attempted to simplify the definition of fascism just like I used to simplify it for my students in my world history classes. Fascism is essentially conform or else. Well, it got a lot of likes, so that's cool, but
I mean, true?
then
But where does this lead you?
the
I'm so
well,
skeptical.
actually crowd hopped on, and one of the responses from Eli A was, that's just authoritarianism. Not all authoritarians are
Well, yeah, conforming to specific things.
fascists, but all fascists are authoritarians. And Eli kind of has a point. Maybe I simplified too much. Violence usually is associated with fascism, but not always. So let me revise. Fascism is
The fuck is this guy talking about? Fascism is inherently violent. Like, your belief system leads to violence. Like, inherently. Like, you believe in displacing people and killing them and exterminating them. Like, that's...
idea that the group is more important than the individual. Diversity is a threat to the group. Individualism is a threat to the group. Immigration is a threat to the group. Any new ideas could potentially be a threat to the group. Basically, anything that undermines the country, nation, or even ethnic group is a threat to the group. The people in a fascist society are expected to have limited choices and strict guidance. In other words, conform to the group. Some argue fascism had its root
But this definition of fascism, like, just solely boiled down to this, you could easily apply to leftism, which is, like, that makes zero sense. Like, if you do that, you are politically illiterate, in my opinion, because you don't understand that those are diametrically opposed fucking ideologies.
in the Jacobin movement, with leaders of the French Revolution like Maximilien Robespierre. Others argue it had its roots as a backlash against the Enlightenment. During the Enlightenment, when more
It's true that fascists are against the values of the Enlightenment because fascists are against liberalism. They basically want to wait until liberalism, like, our democracy right now is weak enough and distrusted enough that they can come in with an authoritarian arm and just, like, take over the country.
people were raving about individualism, laissez-faire economics, liberty, and equality, dudes like the British philosopher Thomas Carlyle were like, hold up. Hierarchy is good. Democracy is bad. Some are leaders, but most are followers. Absolute rulers were good for society. These ideas gained popularity during the late 1800s and early 1900s. To add to the backlash, social Darwinism, the idea that the evolutionary concept of natural selection also applied to human societies, became a big thing. This fit right in with what would eventually be called fascism. The term fascism wasn't used until 1915 by supporters of a guy you probably have heard of named Benito Mussolini.
Yeah.
Mussolini started a group called the
Look at this dude, bro. Look at the top of his head. Fucking look at this doofball, bro. Look at all these fucks.
of revolutionary action, and a newspaper called The People of Italy after he broke away from the Italian Socialist Party. As you may recall, this was smack dab in the middle of World War I, which Mussolini had fought in but had returned home after getting injured. With his newspaper and the Fasci of revolutionary action, Mussolini started a movement, and it grew in popularity, calling for things like continuing to fight in World War I, increasing militarism in general, and most importantly, nationalism.
Fascism is militarism and nationalism taken to a totalitarian extent.
His followers proudly call themselves fascists, with a capital F. The Italian word fascio, meaning group, which comes from the Latin word fasces, which literally meant a bundle of sticks. One stick will bend and break. All the sticks together will stand strong. And yes, this became the symbol of the fascist party. Early fascists seemed kind of like socialists, calling for things like an 8-hour workday.
It's not that they seemed kind of like this, it's just they were doing politics. They were trying to get people on their side with these concessions. All oppressive systems do that, by the way.
A minimum wage, and a progressive tax that targeted the rich. However, many of them seemed to be fans of authoritarianism. Supporters who nicknamed themselves the Black Shirts turned to intimidation and violence to shut
Look at all these losers, dude.
down critics of their movement. Ultimately, the fascists were able to take over Italy after the March on Rome in 1922, and Mussolini forcibly became prime minister and eventually dictator. For more on that, I have videos in the description that go into more detail, like Tristan's video. Go check it out. Again, my main purpose of this video is to simplify.
That guy is a, leftist. Maybe this guy isn't a Nazi. I have no idea.
What fascism is. To recap, fascism is the idea that the group is more important than the individual. Authoritarianism and totalitarianism are both useful tools of fascism, but they are not necessary for it to happen.
This guy's definition of fascism is so stupid, dude. Like political compass, okay? This guy thinks that fascism is just like... Get bigger, dude. Oh my god, here we go. This guy thinks fascism is just like this. Like this part of it. Like, is there like a... Fuck. He thinks it's just this. Like this part. Like the top. But no, it's this. This is fascism. This is not.
I suppose. But the other reason for me making this video is my frustration with people just using whatever definition of fascism best promotes their cause or fits their political agenda. Even the Oxford English Dictionary gets it wrong.
An authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization.
Fascism tends to be authoritarian, but it doesn't mean it has to be. It tends to be nationalistic, but it doesn't mean...
No. Authoritarian nationalism are tenets of it. What do you mean by it tends to be, but it doesn't have to be?
It tends...
Like, define it better then. Like, why are you being so fucking vague, dude? Like, that's the thing that makes me skeptical. It's like, he's like, oh... We need to have sympathy for the Nazis. It's like,
right-wing, but it doesn't mean it has to be. I mean, geez, Oxford English Dictionary, if you are getting it wrong, how is anyone else expected to get it right?
China isn't a communist country.
People use the word fascism to describe people they disagree with or they hate. They often are subconsciously cool with some aspects of it. Could this be you? Are you still confused about what fascism actually is? Well, here are some puppets to
Dude,
illustrate.
You're confused about what fascism actually is, dog.
Ways that society can become fascist.
Oh, wow. Our government sucks. What is happening to our country?
Sorry, what did you say?
I didn't say anything.
You said our government sucks, and our country isn't going in the right direction.
Yeah, this is literally an example of authoritarian nationalism taking hold. Like, Those are the values that are motivating this. I don't know why he's like, it doesn't have to be that.
I mean, I didn't mean it.
You are an enemy of the country. Take him away.
There is a group of people that is making this country lose its way, taking our jobs and making us less by being here.
Donald Trump, bro.
We have to get them out by whatever means necessary.
You!
Jim Jet from the Disassociated Press. Why do you keep locking up people with blue hair?
We need to protect the state. We cannot keep a country going without breaking a few eggs. Speaking about breaking eggs, Jim Jet, that's the last question you're ever going to ask.
Everything is fine. People are not being taken away to detention centers, separated from their loved ones.
But isn't he just a human?
Human? He's our savior. We owe everything to him. I'd give my left arm to him if
People literally believe this way about Donald Trump, too.
I hadn't already given my right arm at the factory.
Thank you to Paul and all the puppets of the Felt Show for helping me make this video. They are all terrific actors, very funny too. I put a link to a video in the description to one of their videos. Go check it out.
Nice, dog. Nice video. All right. A bitch's work is never done, kids.